Hello. In my last video on Thomas Hardy's The Darkling Thrush, I tried to make an in-depth analysis of the poem. Today, I am going to discuss 15 MCQ questions from the poem. The video is going to be helpful for the students preparing for NET and SET examinations. It is also going to be helpful for the students preparing for West Bengal SLST examinations as well as the students pursuing UG and PG courses in different universities. Let's move on to the questions. The first question is, what type of poem is Hardy's The Darkling Thrush? The options are: first, an epic; second, a weir poem; third, a fable; and the last option, an ode. The correct answer is the fourth one, that is an ode. An epic is a long narrative poetry dealing with a great serious subjects in a noble and elevated manner. A weir poem is a poem that centers on the brutalities of weir. Sometimes it also romanticizes weir. A fable is a fictional short story in prose or verse that features animals, plants, inanimate objects or forces of nature that are anthropomorphized and that illustrates or leads to a particular moral lesson. An ode is a lyric poem that is serious in subject and treatment, elevated in style, and elaborate in its stanzaic structure. The Darkling Thrush is an ode, but it is not like the traditional ode. It is an informal ode to the turn of a century and to a scruffy bird in a wintry landscape. Second question, what is the meaning of the word darkling in Hardy's The Darkling Thrush? The options are: first, a dark evening; second, a dark night; third, to become dark; and the last option, an obscured night. The correct answer is the third one, that is to become dark. The next question, where was the poet leaning upon in Hardy's The Darkling Thrush? The options are: an iron gate; option 2, a big wall; option 3, a wooden gate; and option 4, the main gate of a house. The correct answer is the third one, that is a wooden gate. The poem begins with the line, I leaned upon a coppice gate. Coppice refers to a little wood of a small trees. So the correct answer is wooden gate. Question number 4. In the poem The Darkling Thrush, Hardy symbolically mourns at, the options are: the desolate landscape of the winter; option 2, the passing of the century; option 3, the wakening eye of the day; and the last option, the scruffy bird with a blessed hope. The correct answer is the second option, that is the passing of the century. The Darkling Thrush is an ode to the turn of the century in which the poet mourns at the passing of that century. Next question, what does the phrase winter's dregs made desolate mean in the poem The Darkling Thrush? The options are: first, the winter is coming to an end; option 2, the winter is approaching very near; option 3, the winter is coming to an end, making everyone cheerless; and the last option, the winter makes everyone unhappy. The correct answer is the third one, that is the winter is coming to an end, making everyone cheerless. Dregs means the last portions of a dream, the leftover bits, and Desolate refers to that everyone is going to be very cheerless. Okay, so winter's dregs made desolate refers to that the winter is coming to an end, making everyone cheerless. Question number 6. Which of the following figures of speech is used in the phrase the eye of day in the poem The Darkling Thrush? The options are metaphor, second periphrasis, third simile, and the last oxymoron. The correct answer is periphrasis. Periphrasis is a figure of speech where instead of saying something directly, a roundabout description is used. Here, the eye of day refers to the sun, but instead of directly saying sun, the roundabout description of sun is used here. Metaphor and simile figures of speech where two dissimilar things are compared with each other, but in case of simile, the comparison is in an explicit manner, whereas in case of metaphor the comparison is in an implicit way. Oxymoron is a figures of speech where two opposite words are placed side by side for emphasis. Next question. In the poem The Darkling Thrush, the desolate wintry landscape is compared to, the options are first the cloudy canopy, option 2 the century's corpse, option 3 the ancient pearls of germ, and the last option the tangled vine stems. The correct answer is the second one, that is the century's corpse. In the second stanza of the poem, we find three important comparisons are used. First, the dark, desolate winter landscape is compared to the century's corpse. The cloudy canopy, the cloudy sky is compared as the tomb of that corpse, and the wind is compared as the dirge or the song of lamentation for the death of the century. The next question, which of the following theme is not stressed upon in the poem The Darkling Thrush? The options are first despair and hope, second the hollowness of wear, third the decline of human civilization, and fourth the possibility of the renewal of hope. The correct answer is the hollowness of wear. The Darkling Thrush is a poem, an ode basically to the turn of the century, where the poet laments at the passing of the century, and it's also an ode to an aged, frail, gaunt, small thrush with a blessed hope. It has no connection with wear. So the correct answer is the second one, the hollowness of wear. Question number 9. Which of the following is imagined as the dirge of the passing century in the poem The Darkling Thrush? The options are first the desolate landscape, second the cloudy canopy, third the wind, and fourth the copy's gate. The correct answer is the wind. In the second stanza, the wind is imagined as the dirge or the funeral song for the death of the century. Question number 10. And every spirit upon earth seemed fervourless as I. What does the phrase fervourless mean in the above line? The options are without any passion, option 2 with a joyous spirit, option 3 deeply mourned, and option 4 with a blessed hope. The correct answer is without any passion. Next question. Which of the following adjectives is not used by Hardy to describe the thrush in the poem, The Darkling Thrush? The options are: first, aged; second, frail; third, little; and four, gaunt. The correct answer is little. Four adjectives are used in the poem to describe that thrush. They are: aged, means an old one; frail, that is a very feeble; gaunt, that is thin; and small. So little is not used in the poem to describe that thrush, though small in a sense means little, but small is used, not little. Question number 12. From which of the following places does the song of the thrush arise in the poem The Darkling Thrush? The options are: the Coppice Gate; option 2, bleak twigs overhead; option 3, the cloudy canopy; and the last option is strings of broken lyre. The correct answer is the second one, that is bleak twigs overhead. In the poem the line is there: at once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead. So the correct answer is bleak twigs overhead. Next question. The phrase blast-beruffled is used in the poem to describe which of the following objects? The options are: first, the passing century; option 2, the desolate landscape; option 3, the darkling thrush; and the last option, the strings of broken lyre. The correct answer is the third one, that is the darkling thrush. In the poem we had the line: an aged thrush, frail, gaunt, and small, in blast-beruffled plume. Blast-beruffled refers to that blast is a very strong gust of wind, and beruffled means disordered, scruffy. So the feathers of that aged, frail, gaunt, and small thrush, it has been disordered with that strong gust of wind. Okay. Next question. Which of the following poems is not used by Hardy as an intertext in the poem The Darkling Thrush? The options are: first, Keats's Ode to a Nightingale; option 2, Milton's Paradise Lost; option 3, Coleridge's Kubla Khan; and the last option, Shelley's Ode to the West Wind. The correct answer is Coleridge's Kubla Khan. Except this poem, the other three poems are referred to in The Darkling Thrush. The word darkling is used by Keats in his famous 1819 Ode to a Nightingale. Darkling I listen, and for many a time I have been happy in love with his full death. Line number 51-52 of the poem. What again, darkling is used by Milton in Paradise Lost, Book 3, while describing the nightingale. The wakeful bird sings darkling. The west wind is also imagined as a dirge for the passing year in Shelley's Ode to the West Wind, and in the Darkling Thrush, the wind is compared as the death lament for the century's corpse. So, except Coleridge's Kubla Khan, all these three poems are referred to. The poetic references of these three poems are there in The Darkling Thrush. Last question. Which of the following images used in the poem The Darkling Thrush contains religious connotations? The options are: first, century's corpse; second, the blessed hope; third, the cloudy canopy; and last option is strings of broken lyre. The correct answer is the blessed hope. Blessed hope is, hope is one of the three Christian virtues. The first one is faith, second is hope, and third is charity or love. So the blessed hope is an image used in the poem which contains religious connotations. Apart from these 15 questions, numerous MCQs can be framed from the poem. For that, you need to read the poem in very detail. If you have any queries, any questions, agreements, disagreements, observations, feel free to express that in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching the video.